You know, I was going to say goodbye to yesterday, but you guys kept on asking to get a tutorial in standard tuning for goodbye yesterday, so we're living in yesterday for one more day until we get this tutorial out to you guys so you can know how to play goodbye yesterday in standard tuning. Got it? Hey guys, my name's John, and like I was saying very convolutedly, today we are going to be going over goodbye yesterday, but in standard tuning. The original is an E flat. And if you want to learn how to play the original, I did a tutorial and breakdown for that, which you can see here. I'll also have it linked in the description. But you guys have been asking for a video on how to play it in standard tuning. So that's what I'm going to do today, is I'm going to break down how I would play it if I needed to play it in standard tuning, which, to be honest, on a Sunday morning, it's kind of ridiculous to have to like bring two guitars just if you're playing like 3 or 4 songs. So learning how to play it in standard tuning is definitely worth it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and do the playthrough, and then afterwards I'll break down the parts and explain what I'm playing.
1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4. Chorus 1. Chorus 1.
right, so that's how you play Goodbye Yesterday. I know that I got a little carried away. It's honestly a good song, and I just love to worship Jesus and to celebrate what he's done for us. So I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, because we're going to be going over the breakdown anyways. And yeah, I'm not going to apologize for just loving Jesus. Come on. As you could tell in the playthrough, I've decided to capo 4. If you had watched the original, you'll know that I said one of the other ways that you could do it is capo 1, because the song is in A flat originally. If you capo 1, you could play that open droning string on your G string, and capo 1, that makes it an A flat. So that just gives you a different vibe. That would just be... There's nothing wrong with that. That's definitely a different vibe. But the reason why I like to play it capo 4 instead is because when that open droning string is the G string, the string below the string that you're fretting, it's really hard to have that fine control. And normally with a rock song, you kind of just want to like really dig in and get into it. And it's really hard to do that when you have to be like so finitely accurate to what you're playing. So I just kind of struggled to like get into it with that high G string playing, but I have instead decided to play that low droning note on the E string, which when you capo 4 obviously is A flat. The only downside to this is that tonality wise, the E string is a lot darker and warmer than if you played it on the A or the G string. You would probably cut through the mix more if you did it that way. So that's like one risk that you're running. So it really just depends on your setup, your sound, the way that your guitar tone is going. So I'm just playing that lead line, like I said, open E string, and then on the D string, you're going to be playing the 10th or the 8th and the 10th fret, rocking between that. And then you slide up to the 13. And then on the last pass, so you play that 3 times, and then on the last pass before it repeats, you go to the 11th fret and you rock between the 11th and the 10th fret. So that's how you play that main hook of the song, and that really just kind of plays for the first minute and a half or so before you get to the next part. So that next part is going to be, you just do like a palm muted hit like that. So obviously, since we're playing capoed, this is kind of like not 100% exact the way that you would hear it when they're playing an E flat tuning, but this is kind of like the closest chord you can get. That is just an open E string, and then you're playing 6 on your B, and then 8 on your G and D, and then you're also strumming your open A string. You're muting your low E string, so you get... I accidentally downstrummed that in the playthrough, but if you listen to the recording, it's actually an upstrum. And then that next part, I'm just doing an octave chord piece that just slides up and down the neck. So on your A string, you're going to do an octave chord with your 6th fret on your A, and then your 8th fret on your G. And that shape stays the same, you're just moving it up. And so that's going to go 6 to 8, and then 8 to 10, and then 10 back to 8, and then 8 up to 11, and then one more hit on 11. So when you string it together, it's... That next guitar part is going to be a lead line that's phrased around your D-shaped triad chord, playing an A flat. So that's going to be 8 on your G and 9 on your B string. But you're just going to be kind of pulling off and then playing around with that major scale there. So it's going to be 9 to 8, a pull off on your B string, and then 10 to 8 pull off on your G. And then instead of pulling off, you're going to be sliding from 10 to 8 back up to 10 on your D. So it's going to be... You're picking that D string just a few more times. And then from there, you're just letting it ring out, and you're kind of sliding down and then back up and then down and then back up, down your D string until your guitar dies out, basically. So that's just kind of going to be like... And then from there, you do that octave slide up again. And then that leads into the next part, which is a like chordal hits. I'm doing an octave chord on my open E and then 6 on the D string. So that's just an octave. And then I'm adding my middle finger to the sixth fret on the A string. So it's, and I'm just muting that A string in the middle. So it's just those 2 strings ringing out. But I'm strumming it. I'm just muting that A string. The way that I'm doing that is I'm just resting my index finger over the top of it. I'm not pressing down. I'm just resting it on there to mute it. And you go. That's the ba, ba, I have decided to follow Jesus. And then you do a walk down with the hits on the drums from a 6, 5 to a 4. And that's going to be... So the way I'm doing that is it's basically just a triad breakdown of your bar chord of the 6, which is your E flat minor. So that's basically just a power chord of an E flat on your A string. But then I'm adding my middle finger to the 9th fret of the B string. And I slide it down a whole step, so 2 frets. And instead of playing my middle finger there, I put my pinky down on the 8th fret. That makes it a major chord. So it's a major 5. And then instead of playing that same shape down a whole step, which you could, I like to play that just as like a D flat power chord. So that's gonna be your open A string and then 6 on your D and G string. That's just a power chord. So it's, so all together that's, now it does that 4 times, but I like to change it up on the 3rd and 4th pass. That's not in the original version. If you had seen the tutorial that I did in the E flat tuning, you'll remember that I had like 3 bends that I did. However, with the capo, the bends that I was doing don't really like fit on the neck in any good way. So I only use one of them. The other 2, instead of bending it, I just do an octave chord on the A string. So it's basically like instead of playing the full chord, I'm just doing an octave chord of that same chord. And then I'm bending with a unison bend, which is going to be, you're bending your G string with the 11th fret, but then you're just holding your B string on the 9th. So it sounds like this. So all together that's. And then from there, you're going back into that main hook, and then that main hook leads into another lead line that's phrased around that D-shaped triad chord playing an A flat that we did earlier, except you're going to start with the minor shape, which is going to be your ring finger on the G string on the 10th fret, and then walk it up to 8 and then 9 on the B, and then add your pinky to the 11th on the B, and then 8 on the E, and then you do that again. Instead of adding your pinky this time, you're going to bar it down to the 9th on the E and do a pull off, and then one more time, and then you add the 9th fret on the E, and then you're going to play this power chord here, which is 8 on your G and 11 on your B. So all together that's. My biggest tip for that part is really pay attention to timing. You want to be tight with the drums. So when the drums are doing the accent, that's when you shift. It kind of has a little hop to it. It doesn't play it on a straight beat. So really pay attention to that timing. And then also be sure to palm mute that part and then slowly let up on it to kind of give it like this building sensation. And then that last pass, which is more so of like an instrumental, you're not palm muting it at all. You're just straight open picking it. From there, again, you're ending the song with that main melody hook. So that's really all the guitar parts for Goodbye Yesterday. I hope that helps you kind of figure out how I like to transpose parts and move things around on the neck when I need to play it a different way than the original. If you would have played it differently, like transposed it differently, let me know down in the comments. I would love to see how your brain works and the way you like to think about this. Obviously, there's no one right way to do this. Like I said, you could have capoed down at the first fret and a lot of parts could have been played differently down there. So if you have a different way that you like to do it, let us know down below in the comments. I would love to hear it. But with that being said, my name's John. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.